Welcome back, Brian Means from Reliance Network. And this will be our third and final class on Reliance today. Don't forget to come back tomorrow. We have two more classes on our RWT Connect products tomorrow. We have Insights Dashboard. We also have our Listing Manager and Seller Reports tomorrow. But for our last class today, we're going to be talking about email marketing and action plans. So take it away, Ryan.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Now, again, here I am on rwtconnect.com on my dashboard. And the two things that we're really going to talk about in this session are two that you're probably going to spend a fair amount of your time working with. And they're going to be under both the marketing and the email sections. And I'm going to go ahead and start with email, and then we'll talk about the action plans after, because the action plans really rely on your email content. Now, under email, you do have new email, which is just I want to create a generic email, or I want to create a new email that isn't based on a current email marketing piece. And then you have email marketing. And this is going to be all of the marketing that has been created by Reliance is going to live in your stock templates. And then you also have a wide range of company templates that have been provided by your team. And the one thing to note here is when you view your company templates, they're all going to look the exact same. There isn't a thumbnail image for these. So it's not that these are blank. It's just until you click into them, you can't see what's there. But you have some really great content that's already been created for you that you can use instantly. So maybe I'm doing a general introduction for a relocation client, and I want to go ahead and use this general introduction email. So I'd simply click on that, and here's the email itself. Moving to a new area can be a very exciting process. It goes through all of that content. And while this is fantastic and I don't have to do anything with it, I could simply click the send button and send this exactly as it is to anyone in my client database. I also do have the ability to customize this. So just because your team has created it doesn't mean it's locked in. I have the ability to change the subject, which is currently, are you moving to a new community? And I can change the actual message text, which uses our page editor functionality. Now, this is a little bit more than our basic text editor that I showed in the web platform. Here, you've got some additional functionality. You're going to have formats like headings. You can use heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to make your text bolder or larger. You can use email tokens, which are similar to the website tokens that I've mentioned, but these are specific to the email purpose. So again, I could use something agent or company related or even office related, but I also have the ability to insert contact name, first name, last name, or email salutation. So maybe I'm sending this email to 5 or 6 people. Well, I could come up here at the top and put in hello, use a token for contact first name, and then a comma. And now everyone I'm sending this email to is going to get their own first name there. It's going to be hello, Ryan, hello, Sam, hello, Mary. So I can instantly personalize an email that's being sent to multiple people. And they're not going to see that you sent it to 5, 6, 100 people. It's going to look like it was sent to an individual, and it's going to have that individual's name placed in that space. I can then save this. And I've now customized this email before sending it. I could also save this. Maybe I made substantial changes to this. Maybe I have added content, photos, or just additional paragraphs of information, and I want to have my own version of relocation general introduction. Well, I can simply hit save and name this whatever I want. Now, I would probably name it basically the same thing. So I would copy that name and put that in my title. And then I could add it to whatever folder I want. I've already got some folders in my system, but I don't have one necessarily for relocation. So maybe I create a new folder and I just name it relocation. And now, oops, I can't do that because it's the same title. You do have to have a little bit different. So when I save this, I just add a 2 after it. Or I could put a star before it, or I could say my relocation general introduction, or relocation my introduction. Whatever you wanted to name it, put it in whatever folder you want, which again, I'm going to make relocation. And now that email has been saved. So just know that you do have to have your own unique name for that email. But when I go back to email templates, I have a my template section. And there's obviously tons that this agent already has. But if I come down here and look at relocation, I just have the relocation my introduction, which I could then click on. You'll see it has my customization to it. And then I can send this to whoever I want. Now, sending these is incredibly easy. You can simply type a name and click on that person's name. If you know their email and didn't want to type their name, maybe their email is simpler, you could start typing their email and click on their email address to add them. But I can also email this to groups. So maybe this is something related to my neighborhood. I could start typing my neighborhood and I could select that entire group. And you'll see I now have my neighborhood as a group added to this email. And everyone that's part of my neighborhood is going to receive this. Or maybe this is a general blast that I want to go to everybody. Well, we have a group called All Contacts. By selecting all contacts, it's literally going to put every single one of your contacts into this email and then send it to them. Now, of course, if a contact doesn't have an email address, we're not sending anything to that contact. But everyone with an email automatically is now going to receive this email. I can also check this box to have a copy sent to me. I would recommend you do that every single time. Anytime you send an email, send yourself a copy. That way, one, you know when it went out. The copy that goes to you goes at the same time as the one that went to your client. Send now and clicking send email isn't truly send now. It's not like your email system where you go and you click send and it goes. This is going into a queue, and that queue can take sometimes even up to an hour before it actually sends, because there are so many different emails being sent out at a time, and we're trying to avoid getting any spam blocking filters triggering on our emails. So we do stagger these. They go into a queue before they're sent out. Sending you a copy, you'll know when it actually went out. You're also going to get to see it, so you can make sure that you were happy with how that looked. Maybe you decide afterwards that you want to change your email signature. So it is recommended that you CC yourself. You also have the ability to schedule emails. So maybe I don't need this to go out today. I really want it to go out on Monday morning. Well, I could simply select Monday morning and schedule delivery. And now this email is going to go to Ryan Means Monday morning at whatever time our system is able to schedule it. Now, I'm going to go back to email templates quick and just show you one other thing there. And I kind of hinted at it, but I want to say it again here. So if I come back to my company templates, your company has built a ton of layouts for you. You have some really nice content, all of your holiday content, your daylight savings. There's some really, really good content here, but some of us like to personalize a little bit more. And so anything that your company has, and anything that's in our stock templates, you can customize these and save your own version. So let's find another one that we might want to customize here. Well, Valentine's Day is coming up, so maybe I want to pick one of these Valentine's Day ones, but I just don't love the photos in any of these. I wouldn't select, maybe that one's kind of cute, but just not my style. Well, you can pick any of these and change it. I'm going to go with this one with the vertical image along the left-hand side. Now, when you select a Reliance layout or a Reliance templated email, it's going to have a lot of sections to it. Whereas the company one was just built using our HTML editor, this is actually set up via a bunch of different sections. So we still have our subject, Happy Valentine's Day. I don't need to change that. Then we have our side image, which is this red heart section. And when I go there, you'll see I have a side image button, and that's going to open an image library. Now, these are different images than what you saw earlier when I went to the website image library. This is our email image library. We do have them separated. And I could, of course, come in here and type in Valentine, and it's going to filter down to all of the Valentine's photos. Some of those are okay, but not quite me. I'm going to click this show more. We have additional photos. They're going to hide under that show more. So be prepared to look for that button and expand it. Well, here's some nice vertical ones. I really kind of like this cute couple. We're going to go with that. Select it, select image, and it's already replaced inside my email here. Next, I can do the title text. It says Happy Valentine's Day. That's great. I'm going to put in some exclamation points. My subtitle, Love is in the Air. And of course, this is currently red text, but I could change that text color to black if I wanted to do so. Well, on that layout, it might not actually work, but you usually are able to change your font colors if you wanted to do so. Now, we did pre-build your salutation. Just says hi, contact first name. I could change hi to hello, or how are you, or whatever I wanted that to say. So again, you can totally personalize these. Then you have the message text section, which is our basic text editor. It doesn't have the full HTML. You can't add an image into it or video into it or anything else. It is kind of a limited text section. Once you've finished customizing this, you can of course send it, or if you wanted to have your own version of a Valentine's Day email, I could simply save this as Valentine's Day. And of course, I'd want to find my own folder for that. I would probably create a holiday folder so that I have my own version of my holiday emails. And I've now created my own Valentine's Day email that I can send anytime that I want. Back on email templates, I do also have the ability to simply create a new template, something that I can use going forward. And when you click create email, it's going to look just like it did for your company one. I have a subject and I have a message text. I don't have all of the additional sections, but that subject can say anything I want. Welcome to the area. And then I could create an email that's about welcoming someone to the area. And maybe it has links to different communities or whatever the case may be. But I can create any email template that I want that way. Now, you may be more advanced than the basic editor. This, I can come in here and I can type a message and I could bold it. I could change color. I could do some very basic things. But if I wanted to do something more advanced, and if I have these skills and ability to do something more advanced, if you come up to the view button, there is an option to view source code. And this is HTML code. You're actually able to come in here and plug in your own HTML code that then makes this image or makes the page, makes the email look the way that you want it to look. If I don't know code, I can still plug in a ton of things. I can come in here and I can go to my image library and I can find an image. And let's see if we have any beach images. We don't, unfortunately. You do have some really nice images in your company library, so I'll just show that real quick. You have all of these holiday-based email images that you can use anytime. Simply selecting one of these is going to allow you to plug that into the email. Now, obviously, my email is not about President's Day, but we're just going to plug one of these in just to show you. You select the image, click select, and it adds it in here. That's really large, though. That's not how big I want it to be. Well, there's little boxes at the corners, and I can drag those to resize this image to make it whatever size that I want. I can also use different formatting, so I could, have that off to the right instead of off to the left, and I can still type next to it and have that format down. And you'll see if I go into my source code, it's doing all the coding for me. It's figuring out how to make that look exactly how I've added it. I also have an insert media option. This is really designed for video and adding an embed code for that video or for a GIF. It is possible to embed GIFs in here. If you embed a video, it is not going to work. That is the only reason I mentioned that section, is it will not let you embed a video. You cannot put video in an email. While emails do use HTML code, it is not full HTML code. They're kind of a dumbed down version of HTML. So if I were to paste in a Vimeo or a YouTube embed code here, it's not going to work. Just please note that. But you can embed a GIF that looks kind of like video movement, and you could link that GIF to a video that you then have people watch, which is what we do at Reliance. We send these out on a recurring basis to our clients and show off different features, and we embed a GIF in that to give it some movement and make it look a little bit nicer than just a static email. So that is a possibility. Other than that, again, you can kind of look through these different features and see what is available. There's obviously choices for a background color, so not just the foreground. I can actually put in a little bit of a background color to my text if I wanted to do so. The white with an X is to remove. It is I don't want background or I don't want color on my text. So if I select mine and I make it black, this is a really important one actually that I think a lot of people don't realize. If you choose black as your font and you email this to someone and they view this on a phone or a device that's in dark mode, the entire thing is black. The background is black and the text is black. The system doesn't know how to change that. The phone doesn't. But if you select that text and you use the white with an X, that is to say I want to use the default color. And so if they're on a device that's in light mode with a white background, it's going to be black text. If they're using dark mode with a black background, it's going to be white text automatically. So I don't typically recommend that you make text black. You usually want to make it not a color or the default color. So that's the email templates. And again, there are tons of them and you can make any additional ones that you want. Now, if I go to marketing, we also have our action plans. And action plans are marketing campaigns. And you'll see there's quite a few in this account here. But if I filter those down, I'm going to filter to a couple different things. First, to the stock plans. These are the plans that Reliance has built for you. And they're available to all of the agents and anyone can add contacts to these. The birthday action plan sends an email on their birthday. You don't pick the email. It's been selected by Reliance and it's the Happy Birthday 2024 email, which looks just like that. That goes out automatically on your behalf to any contact you've added to the birthday action plan. You might also notice that your company, so the company ones are globes, if I switch to company, has a birthday action plan with agent task notification. Now, this is different from our stock plan because it has the agent task notification. You'll see that that shows up as a phone call titled Upcoming Birthday that's scheduled to go out one day before their actual birthday. So on their birthday, they're going to receive birthday 2, the email, but the day before their birthday, you're going to get an email that says you have an upcoming birthday for XYZ client. You should reach out to them with a phone call. Now, that's fantastic, and I love that I can call my client or even text them for their birthday, but I like to go a step further than that for my clients, and so I would take this birthday action plan and copy it. And again, everything that's ever created can be copied and made your own. This is your company version. You can't edit this action plan. But if I wanted, I could copy that action plan, name it my birthday action plan. Personally, I always put an asterisk in front because the asterisk is going to move it to the top of the action plans. And now when I save this, I've got options. I can replace the email. So maybe I want to use a different birthday email. I'll select the 2024 one. Now that's what's going to go out. I have the upcoming birthday, which is in here, which is fine, but maybe I want it a week before. And now I've got this upcoming birthday. I'm going to get a reminder 1 week before that their birthday is coming up. And that way, if I wanted, I could mail a handwritten card. And I could still call them and text them and whatever I want to do, but it gives me that additional 6 days if I wanted to do so. I don't have to create my own version. You can simply use any of the stock versions, any of the company versions that have been created before, and you can go with that. But if you want to, you have that option. And you'll see there it is at the very top. That's the one I created because that asterisk, it's at the very top of my list. So let's use that one. I'm going to go ahead and select it. And I need to add contacts or groups to that action plan so that that's going out. Well, I can, of course, come in here and pick a contact, and I could type it by their email, or I could type in their name, and I'm going to find that contact. And I could add him. And so here's Ryan. His birthday's on May 7th. It's scheduled to go out. Now, scheduled over here is whether or not they're going to receive it. If it says unsubscribed, they have unsubscribed for your marketing emails. It's not sending to that contact. They're still in the action plan, which means I'm still going to get an upcoming birthday notification for that contact, but they're not going to receive the email because they've unsubscribed. So it's still a powerful thing to add those contacts to this. But this is a birthday action plan. Why would I ever individually add contacts when there's a much better option? So what I would do instead, sometimes I have to reload this page. It doesn't like me. Sometime, or what I would do instead of adding individual contacts to a birthday action plan is I would search for the word birthday. As I showed in the groups training, we have the ability to, or we automatically have a group called birthday that every contact that you add a birthday to is automatically added to this group. Well, when you add a group to an action plan, any contact in the future that you add to that group is automatically added to that action plan. So now my birthday group is connected to this My Birthday action plan, and it's connected to every contact I ever add a birthday to. The moment I add a new contact with a birthday, or I update an existing contact adding a birthday, that contact is automatically added to this action plan and is automatically going to start getting their birthday notification email. I'm going to be notified a week ahead of time, and I don't ever have to think about birthdays again. It's automatic for the rest of my life. As long as I add the contacts to my Reliance database with a birthday, I'm going to remember their birthday every single year. Now you'll notice down here at the bottom, I have a bunch of contacts that say birthday in their group. And then I have Ryan Means who doesn't. I manually added Ryan Means to this group or to this action plan. Everyone else was added via that group. If I select a member of that group and say remove groups, that is going to remove that group and any contact in that group that was added via that group. Ryan Means is in the birthday group, but he was added separately. So removing the birthday group will not remove Ryan Means. I also can't select Kristen and remove her as an individual because she is part of a group. She was added via a group. I must remove the group to remove her. So I could remove groups if I wanted, but I'm going to leave them in there. There's that unsubscribed I mentioned. None of the first 5 are going to receive the email, but I will still be notified that their birthday is coming up. Now there's a bunch of other action plans. Let's go back to stock quick. We have a client for life action plan. We also do have a home anniversary and wedding. You can absolutely add the home anniversary group and wedding anniversary group to those. Never think about those again for the rest of your life. We also have a monthly newsletter. Now that monthly newsletter is an e-newsletter for your company sent on the 4th of every month, and you don't have to touch it. If you go to this newsletter and you go to January, you're going to be able to see January's content. If you go to February, there's content. If you go to March, content not yet available. We have not written the newsletter for March, April, all the way through December of this year because we don't pre-write these. As you saw, we have the February one, but that's 2 weeks away. We tend to write these within a month of when they're going to go out because we want the content to be fresh. We want it to be relevant, and we don't want to be sending things that don't make sense. So we try to write these much, much later than you might think, within a month of them actually going out. And you can add any contacts to this group. And you'll notice, or to this action plan, you'll notice that this one actually has the all contacts group added to it, meaning every single contact I ever add to my Reliance database is automatically added to my e-newsletter group. It's automatically going to start sending this action plan on whatever the next month is. So I never have to think, are my clients getting my newsletter? If they have an email address in Reliance, they're getting your newsletter because you added the all contacts group. Now, I mentioned your company also has some fantastic action plans. You've got the birthday one, which I think is huge. A lot of companies don't preset that with an agent task notification. You also have your own custom holiday action plan. And this is set up by your company, and you've got all of your own company emails built into this, ready to go. And again, if I wanted, I could add all contacts, the group name all contacts, and every single one of my contacts, all 59, have been added to this action plan. And the next thing that's going to go out is Groundhog Day in just about a week. That's going to send that email automatically on my behalf. And then on Valentine's Day, and then on President's Day. And so again, I'm keeping in touch with my clients without having to think about it. It's just automatically happening because I've added them to an action plan using my groups, using that all contacts group. Now, maybe you don't want all contacts. So I'm going to go and remove that group. I also have a group. Sorry, sometimes you have to refresh this page before you can go back into add contacts. Uh, the other group that I've got is my newsletter. So if I type in newsletter, you'll see I have a monthly newsletter group. Now, this was a group that I manually created in my account, but I can manually add contacts to it. And now anyone I add to the monthly newsletter is automatically added to this action plan. Now, it could have been named holidays. It could have been named anything I wanted it to be, but I've got a monthly newsletter group, so I just went ahead and used that one. Now let's look at how that actually works. So I'm going to go back to my contact list for a second, and I'm just going to add a new contact. So I'm going to search. This search bar is huge, by the way. I use this all the time. But I'm going to select Ryan, and I'm going to add to group, and I'm going to add them to my monthly newsletter and assign that. And now, because Ryan is a member of that group, when I go back to marketing and action plans and I look at my company plan called Holiday Action Plan, there's Ryan. He's been added simply because he's now a member of that group. So you can create manual groups, add those to your action plans and automate those going out, or you can add the system groups, the automatically generated groups to your action plans and automate that going out as well. I'm gonna go back to action plans real quick. And I want to show you how you can create your own action plan. Now, I showed you you can customize any of these. You can copy it and make your own version, but you can also start from scratch. I can click create new action plan and I can name this whatever I want. Maybe this is my holidays because I want to set up the holidays that I want sent out, or I want to set up the content for those holidays that I want sent out. Now, if I'm picking my holidays, I better pick by calendar, because by calendar is saying I want to select the date that something goes out. And obviously holidays are very specific dates. I want to make sure I'm picking dates. Now, if this was something more like a client for life or past closings, whatever you wanted to call it, then maybe you want to use by days. By days is X number of days since I added the contact to the action plan. So let's look at one of those for an example. Client for life. This is set up that 120 days after you add the contact to the Client for Life action plan, they're going to receive a gardening ideas email. And then 240 days, they're going to get a decorating and design email. And then on day 365, you're going to get a notification that you need to follow up via a phone call. Then there's another email, and you'll see it goes all the way out to 1,800 days, almost, what is that, like 6 years worth of content being sent out on your behalf or reminders for you to do something. So that's a day action plan versus, or by days, versus a calendar where you're actually going to pick January 1st, February 2nd, March 17th, whatever date you wanted to select. You also have what's called sign up. And sign up, rather than by days since I added them to the action plan, it's by days since they were added to my database. So that's really meant more for your new clients or new web clients. And that's going to send out X number of days after they were signed up for their account. And then, of course, I have the birthday, home anniversary, and wedding anniversary. We all know those are going to be based off their birthday, home anniversary, or wedding anniversary dates that are on their profile. There's one more thing I want to mention about by days or by calendar. By days, every contact that you add to it is going to receive every item because it's X number of days after I added the contact. By calendar, clients are only going to receive the content after the date that they were added. So right now, I've already missed New Year's. Obviously, it's not going to send a New Year's email after New Year's. So by calendar, if it has 10 events, your client may not get all 10 if you didn't add them at the beginning of that calendar list. By days, they're going to receive every item no matter what because they start on the date that they were added. The other thing is that by calendar, everyone gets the same item on the same day because it's the holiday. They're going to get that holiday. By days, people are going to get different items on different days because it's when they were added to the action plan. So I add you today and me tomorrow, I'm going to get things a day after you did. If I add someone else in 6 months, they're going to get items 6 months after we did because they were added 6 months later. I'm going to go ahead and create a test one for by days. Now I have my action plan. I need to add emails and tasks. Emails are the automated emails that are sent out. Tasks are really more reminders for me, the agent, to do something. So let's add an email and we'll just select a random email. It doesn't really matter which one I pick. For training purposes, we'll do a keep in touch, gardening ideas, and save it. I've now added gardening ideas. If I click on gardening ideas, it will actually show me what that email looks like, so I get a quick preview. Now I need to tell it how many days after the contact was added do I want them to receive this email. I'm just going to say 1 day after. And I could add as many emails as I want, and then I can go ahead and add some tasks. Now tasks, you name it whatever you want. Oops. So send a personal card. I can give it a note of what that card should contain or why I want you to do this. Or maybe this is a follow-up phone call. And the task note, I would then say follow up and ask if they saw the gardening ideas. Or you could pick something that was from the gardening ideas and say, did you see this thing that was in that email, so that you're being a little more specific. And I could make that that's a phone call, an open house, showing, meeting, task, or appointment, whatever you want to call it. And then do you want the reminder? If I don't create a reminder, I don't get an email. It just shows up as a task on my calendar inside of Reliance. And if you're syncing that to your other calendars, then that could sync elsewhere as well. But if you don't add a reminder, you don't get a reminder email. So I'm going to go ahead and do for just minutes because I want it to be the next day. So I've got day 1, I get the gardening ideas email. And then day 2 or day 7 or day 487, whatever you select, they're then going to receive this next item. And you can keep adding to this and make this anything that you want it to be. And it's then going to be ready for you to add contacts or groups. That's really it for the marketing. That's the action plans and the marketing emails. Were there any questions that I missed? It doesn't look like it.
I think this was a pretty thorough overview of our marketing and email. Thank you. I haven't seen any questions. We'll just open it up really quickly. If anybody has any questions, again, just raise your hand or you can put it in chat. And again, for those of you who are in one of the training rooms, if you're not available to do that, you can always email websupport@rwtown.com. We'll be happy to answer it after class as well. I am not seeing any questions. So thank you so much for being here today and for all this really valuable information on all the tools that are available in RWT Connect. And we'll see you again tomorrow.
See you then.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining.